till I get my money right.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascend. I have KAVA up on the screen here. This is the USD price chart. And guys, looking at this already, going back to 2021, taking out, new lows, double bottoms down here, I look at this and I think, all right, I wonder if there's something going on with the market cap, right, or with the tokenomics of this coin. So I look back here, that COVID crash in 2020 price, USD price is currently up 50% from that low. I switch over here to the market cap chart. I go to that same low. This is up 28,000%, 290x from that same point in time on the market cap, where price has only gone up 50%. So there's something going on with the tokenomics, some kind of inflationary pressure, tokens on being unlocked, rewards. I don't know. I don't own the coin. This came from this was a request from my Quantum Circle group. So I figured I would go ahead and share it with all of you here today. So looking at that, we have to use the market cap chart. We're going to take this info, we'll extrapolate it over to the other chart and figure out the actual USD price. So let me switch over to the weekly here. Let's see if we can get a better idea kind of what's going on with the market cap. So I'm going to start from this low down here. This is like an inception wick, and it went up insane percentages that first week. So if we're looking at this strictly from like a wave count, I guess you could include it. Let's do this. You're looking, if you wanted to do like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you could do it that way. And then you look within here, you kind of have like in this move here, you have like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Interesting correction here. Guessing that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a complex correction. So we're looking at that. I say all that is we're looking at that right there on a 5-wave move. All right. If you didn't want to include it, well, I guess we set a new high there. If you wanted to look at this even more, and we didn't want to include that wick, you could see a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 back down on top of 1, and a wave 5 here. So you see it that way. There's a couple different ways to draw it out. But what's most important here moving forward is going to be the fibs, right? We're going to take some fibs. We're going to figure out what our targets are right here for KAVA based on some of these more recent ranges. All right. But before I do that, guys, if you could go ahead, join the Quantum Circle, entries, exit strategy, emotional, mental clarity, 2 daily macro videos a day. Link to that in the bio. We do a ton of this type of stuff. Different alts, but more importantly, the macro and understanding where everything's going. So looking at this, let's try this. Let's go down to the monthly and see if we get a little bit better of a view here. I like that 5-wave count on the monthly here, right? And you can see in between here, you have like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So I like the 5 waves up. We came back, dropped down. Oftentimes, guys, I talk about this on the channel all the time, and this is why we're going to be looking for a new high, is it looks like we have a crashing pattern in play. So I invert this chart, right, and you see the 5 waves down. It then comes back up into this wave 4 right here. And so oftentimes that is a 6, and then we look to come take out that low one more time for a 7, right? However, we inverted the chart. So one more low actually means one more high right there. Oops. So we have what we're going to be looking for now in this video is we have those 5 waves up. We have waves 1 and 2 here. We're looking for waves 3, 4, and 5. All right. That's what we're searching for. And it does, based on market cap, looks like there's a good chance it sets a new high just based on the macro structure. On the USD price chart, don't think this is going to be setting a new high. So let's get into that now. Remember, this is the weekly. So this back here, this 5th range, this was our last macro range here, that 5th wave top. We want to start by drawing our fibs out over that right there. All right, so now we have our first zone here, right? And we're trying to figure out waves 3, 4, 5. This market cap right now, what is that? 395 million. This looks like it takes it up to around 4.4 billion. So what is that? Like a 10x? That's kind of what we're looking for across the board right now in markets. Yep, an 11x, 1,000% to get that full extension there. So let's keep that in mind. That's on the high going back to March of 2024. But that was the last time we had a high, right? Since then, this drawdown at its max, 78%, currently down about 68% from that last high. All right, the other range we want to look at here, this wave 3 to 4 drop down here, we haven't closed this out yet, right? This fifth wave breached it, but we still haven't closed it out. We see a 4236 all the way up here, and we see confluence with the 3618 of this range, right? So this 3 to 4 drop, full extension, 3618 right here. Boom. We like to call that confluence, my friends. So that's where I'm looking. That is an area of interest up there. However, no, okay, that's what we're going to do for that one. I haven't done this one yet. So we got to close out this 3 and 4 range. We have to close out this wave 5 drop, which is what we just had drawn, which went a little bit further. We also want to look at right here for waves 1 and 2. What does this structure look like? Where could this take us? We see some confluence right here at the 2618, and I'm going to talk about why that's important. Oftentimes, in this third wave move here, we'll for sure take out this high or the last local highs, and oftentimes we'll look to come back down and back test it. So I see this former all-time high wave 3 here. I see, that we broke out. Come on, man. There we go. Right? Break out of this downtrend down here up into that wave 3. Wave 4, come back down. Test this area. Could even come lower and test the top of that 1. We'll talk about that in a sec. And then we're talking about our wave 5 and where we have that going, which right now we saw confluence up there at that point. Okay, so this third wave, we have confluence 2618 of this range, 1618 of that range. 1618 is the area we would expect to pass, taking out these highs. Retail gets suckered in, then they drop low again. So this fourth wave drop, typically we're looking at 35 to 50%. With KAVA's market cap being what it is, could be closer, like mid-40s range. Let's draw this down here. 32% gets us back on top of that high. Coming back down a little bit further, this wave 1 wick, which would be perfectly normal, is about 47%. But let's say we get some support here at that 786 at about 45%. That drops down like that. And then we have our fifth wave blowing us off up there. And again, that's just closing out this range. There's still a scenario where we go the full extension of this range, right? And that gives us a little bit further out. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll make that our blow off target there, but my primary is going to be the confluence that we found between this range and this range, right? And then we used this tighter range to figure out logical movements for wave 3. All right, let's take all of this information and let's pull it over to the price chart and figure out where exactly KAVA is headed for this run. So from the current price level, we're saying that this guy gets up here about 293%, almost a 4x on this wave. All right, so 293% from the current price level. And that's still, I mean, wow, that gets us right up to that high and that breakdown level. Too much of a coincidence there, right? Look, support, rode it, bam, broke down, right? It's exactly the level that we're looking at here for this third wave. So we said 1, 2. Right now we were calculating 3. We're waiting on 4 and 5. Wave 4, we talked about a drop down of how far? We talked about a drop down of, to this, 45%, we'll say, from that high. We had another chart up, didn't we? Yeah, 45%, we'll say, from that high. Where's 45% from the third wave take us? 45. Pretty close price level to that too, right? So you can see there we actually hit it. We hit that price level. But on here, we're still a little bit below it. Or a little bit above it, excuse me. So that's a little bit of that inflation coming in. Okay. And then this fifth and final wave, it honestly looks like it could be the longest of the waves. And it is 337% from right there. All right, so that's another 4.3x, 337. We're sitting like right here, kids. 326, we'll say 325. Nice round number. That is what we have going on here for KAVA. Mark that right there. So run up to 142, drop back down to 75 cents, and then a fifth and final wave for our primary up to $3.26, right? Walked you through that whole thing. Let's talk about that blow off target if we get it. Not that much further, 400% from that. Where was that from? From that wave bottom. Should get us out a little bit further. Not too much. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about like 380-ish. Okay. So not that much of a blow off. Could go a little bit further, but I'm just curious. Let's pull this over here and see. Sure enough, that second target lines up with the 382 on the price chart, right? And so what this is creating here is, you have your 5 waves up. 2, 3, 4, 5, if you want them. You had your drawdown. You have your ride back up into retracement levels. And what this is doing on the macro is just a macro A, B, C before it rolls over in a global depression, but not yet. We still have an alt season to go. This is what I'm expecting for KAVA, my primary, right up there at $3.25. So that is how we're looking, my friends. Like I mentioned, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day, a Discord channel, and I teach you how to do TA just like me. Link to that in the bio. If not, super appreciative you guys are here. If you could follow, like, repost. I want to get this out to as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. I'll be back here in a bit.